music was kind of sitting on the outside. It was like alternative music, you know. And it very quickly became the biggest seller. And I think the difference is still the gap's huge in the US, right? The gap is still huge in Japan, huge in Europe, and it's huge in UK. But I don't think it's as large here, you know, because everything gets on radio here, because everything hits the charts here. That gap's not so large, and it just gives us a more interesting and wider sort of, you know, breadth of music to pick from.
And like one thing we have in Australia is that, you know, we have, you know, a network like Triple J that is national, and it doesn't hit just cities, it hits regional and it's national, and they're so willing to give the up and comers a go. So,
you know, like Muscles, before we signed them, he was, you know, about the 4th or 5th most played song on Triple J from a CD he gave them, and they're willing to support that.
And for a long time there with our radio stations, then you got like that next step up to commercial, there was this huge gap. But it's sort of found that, like, especially the last 6 months, the gap has just come shorter and shorter, you know, like, they're taking risks that they haven't done in the past. And it just, like, you know, it comes down to youth culture. It's almost like the kids have stood up and said, hey, look, we want to hear this and we'll request it.
You know, and radios and brands traditionally thought, you know, Australians want, you know, pub rock music. And it's not true, you know. It's like, and I think Modular's kind of, you know, led the way in, you know, showing to the world that, you know, Australia's not just about that. Gone are the days where you could throw a DJ name up on a flyer and go bracket UK, and that used to outsell anything, you know, in Sydney. But nowadays it's the locals that have the fans and build the parties, and that's the way it should be.
To be honest, we find a lot of our projects are starting in the blogs now, and it's giving that worldly appeal that, you know, like these little acts from Australia or Tame Impala, you know, like, you know, these little bands are suddenly finding themselves, you know, represented on these pages, and you can't work against it. You know, like, you can't go around shooting everyone down saying don't put my music up for free, because eventually they're going to go, you know what, fuck you. You know, we kind of know who, you know, we know what are like-minded people, and they kind of get what we do, and they get, you know, the world that we live in. And where it comes down to Kitsune doing a cashmere jumper range or something like that, and we're doing the same, like with our t-shirt range. And you know, we've kind of, even though it's all about prints right now, it's going to evolve into jeans. And Cut Copy went over to producing those colours with Tim over in New York, and it's just nice knowing that we've got these people around the world that are like-minded and like what we do, and we can work together, like, you know, like you said. Yeah, like next year, you know, it's a big year, and, you know, like we say, Avalanches with the new album coming through, you know, they're working down in Melbourne with that. Andrew with Wolfmother and the new record, he's just moved to LA, and he's working with Dave Sardi on that. The first quarter next year we'll have a new Years record, and so it's like, you know, they're big things that are coming for us, and, you know, we're just getting ready to go, you know, there's so much more to come. And I really feel like if you look at anything like you know, you want to look at a 5-year plan and where we're at, you know, well, the first 2 years are establishing ourselves, the third year we've started to make inroads, and these next 2 years are going to be, you know, I think we'll go to a whole nother level.